Aloha, guys, and welcome. Let me give all the okay first treats out, and aloha, welcome, gang. We are, if you check your clock right now, we are at a different time. And for those of you who've been around with me for 6 months or so, you know what happened over the weekend. We hit daylight savings time. All you guys had to change your clock time. Those of us in Hawaii did not. We stuck with the same time because we're beyond all that clock switching back and forth stuff. But what that means is I usually go live at 4 o'clock my time. And today, and for the rest of, see, I continue going 4 o'clock, but for you guys, it's an hour later. So I suspect there's going to be a little bit of getting used to the time. I need to I try to warn everyone ahead of time on the community tab, but YouTube needs to get the notifications out. So we'll give a few minutes for YouTube to get the notifications out. And but this will probably continue until the next live daylight savings occurs. So, but we do have one person in chat. I just saw two. They're getting over here. And yeah, we made it through. The weekend was great. We had Honolulu Festival was amazing. Didn't post as much as I wanted to. Posted a little bit of stuff from taiko drumming, and the dogs are crying. I know you can't hear that, but Cassie's like, "Aw." And I'm like, yeah, you just want more treats. That's all they care about. I'm only good for the treats. So, but there this morning, you guys know how things go. For hey, Cooter's in the house. We got a Cooter in the house. Hello, there it is. I was like, come on, why is it not pulling it up? How you doing, Cooter? Hope you made it through the weekend okay. It was fun. I have to say it was a really good weekend and all that. So, a lot happening though. We're going to talk a little bit about the community post I made yesterday in regards to the I'm sorry, there's no way to say it except just say the words that it is. Well, it's a tragedy. Basically, a father unalived himself and his whole family. This happened yesterday. We're getting some more information about it, but it's the worst loss of life we've had in Honolulu. Well, in Hawaii, I think actually since 1999, when some of you guys might remember there was the Xerox shooting in Honolulu. Byron Uesugi went into his place, well, old place of work and killed a lot of people. This is actually the worst since then. So it's 1999. That's a lot of years. So a lot of people trying to get over that right now, especially because it involves 3 children and 2 different schools where today they come back to school on a Monday and they have to realize family and friends aren't there. Okay, and it's just, but Lioness is in the house. Hello, you guys are finding your way here with the new time change. BC, hello, my dear, and in the bushes. How you guys? And so we are going to talk about that, but a little later. I wanted to start with this case. I don't know if any of you, hey, Seal, yeah, I drive right by that area quite often. Okay, I used to do a lot of theater up in Manoa. So I go to Manoa Shopping Center, and also I hang out up in that valley. So it's just like, wow, I love it. I love it. See, they the lake people, not you. Yeah, you can throw it right back in their face now and have fun with it. So, but yeah, this morning I kind of was looking for someone to cover today. I know, yeah, all the wrenches. Yeah, there you go. Um, I was looking for what we could cover because we still have Elijah out there. We still have Sebastian out there, Caleb. There's been some updates with Caleb. There are some groups going out there to help assist with the search. I have not been able to really look into that deeply today because I was looking at this case right now. This case we're going to discuss first, and it's actually okay, that little cutie pie right up in the corner there. Alexa went missing yesterday morning. Now, there's a lot of, I'm going to be honest, guys, when I started researching this, I immediately actually went into a chat group that I'm part, well, a Discord group I'm part of, and I'm like, guys, this one's scaring me. Okay, I know I say that every single time, but this one, we've got a 10-year-old who is can look much older than she is based off of the fact she's 5'4", so she's tall for her age. It looks like she may have hit a growth spurt over the. Yeah, I need to take a look at wrenches at some point. I do need to do that actually too, Miss Cooter. And we've seen some pictures of her from what I think might have just been a couple months ago versus now, and there's been a lot of changes. She hit that growth spurt that so many girls hit, but she is now 5'4" and 120 pounds. And at 10 years old, that very quickly can become dangerous, especially we just did a live about internet safety and stuff the other day. Amy and I talked about it. And I'm really worried about her. I know we haven't heard much on has anyone looked at her internet safety or things like that. Right now, the focus is finding her, and I'm sure they're doing that, but they're out there trying to get dogs involved, drones involved, things like that. But there's some weird things with this that I do want to bring up. A lot of questions. Yeah, she is tall for 10. In fact, I initially went to actually Web Sleuths. I love to spend time over there, okay, reading all the cases and all. And one of the first things everyone was talking about, and actually, let me just bring her up so you guys can see her picture and information. Um, yeah, it is. It is. Puberty is happening much earlier than it used to. And I'll be honest, gang, I was 10 when I hit it. And also, I was more early also. And also, I mean, I used to go around and kids during the summer would say, "Hey, Dolly Parton." Okay. Yeah. And also, it can happen quickly. And when that type of thing happens, it puts children in danger, number one, especially nowadays where you have the internet and people are not always as worried about it. Seal, good point, good point. And so anyhow, let's go through this with Alexa. Again, like I said, there's not a lot of information. Let me ask you guys first. Ones and twos in chats. Put a 1 in chat if you've heard about Alexa. Okay, put a 2 if you have not. I had known nothing about Alexa before I woke up this morning. I hadn't heard. Now, yes, this just started yesterday. So it's a brand new case, true. But it's not something, okay, Seal's a 2. And I have a funny feeling there's a lot more 2s out there than what I'm used to seeing. Joy is a 2. Seal. Ranger is a 2. See, and I think that's what worried me with this case because it's starting off, Cooter's a 2. There you go. I think in this case, it started off as a thought of a runaway again. And you guys know how I feel about that runaway word. Okay. Yes, true. In this case, there's a note. You're going to hear about the notes. Lioness 2. There you go. The majority of chat right now are 2s. And so between all these things, I honestly, those of you who were in that group that I was in probably could tell my blood was running cold for a little bit on this because of all the potentials that are there and why it's so important for us to share her story. Because if she's in the area, they're going to find her. They will figure out a way to find her locally. But if she has transported herself or if someone else has transported her out of the community, we need to spread her information as far as we can. And so even a runaway at this age, yeah. And that's the thing. I had a little bit of an issue, and when we get to it, police were like, "Oh, we don't believe she's in imminent danger." And I'm like, "What? WTF? That doesn't make sense." A 10-year-old, even if they are a runaway out on the streets or something like that, they are in serious trouble at that point. Okay, very much serious, imminent danger. Hey, Joy. And thank you all that you who are coming in that gave us your 2s and chat and all that. Thanks and welcome, my dears. So let's get through her story right now. And sorry, allergies are kicking in here in Hawaii. So if I lose my voice, that is what's going on. I'm hoping I will not, but we will see. So Alexa, as you can see from this right here, is 10 years old. First huge, huge red flag. 10-year-old disappearing overnight, leaving a letter saying that she's run away. Okay, red flag big time. Okay, I'm not talking I go in it. I'm just saying red flag in general. Okay. She is 5'4" and 120 pounds. She has brown eyes, brown hair. She was last seen wearing black shorts and a yellow long sleeve shirt. Now, guys, this is in Alabama. Okay, Brownsville in Alabama. And it's cold. Tonight, they're saying, is really going to be cold. Long sleeve shirt, shorts, that's not going to do it. Okay, she needs to be in shelter somewhere. And that's a big concern as we pull up where she is at, well, where she disappeared from. There's a lot of open area, well, wooded areas, put it that way. Also, Brownsville, Alabama is a very small town. So this is affecting a real tiny town. In 2010, the census for this town was 1,684. Now, that was 15 years ago, but it's still pretty small. Everyone knows everyone. When they put the word out that they were going to get dogs out, and then if they got any scents to track or anything like that, then they would put together searches. The whole town is posting to Facebook saying, well, I'm here, I'm here. I'll help you with this. Everyone is jumping in right now. So that Ohana idea is happening right there. It's pretty chilly over that way. See, and that it's still, guys, it's March. It's still cold at night. It's still cold here in Hawaii, guys. And so what happened? First of all, actually, let me do this. I'm going to real quickly, as I tell you, I'm going to pull up a bit on, yeah, you're from Arkansas. Joy is from Arkansas and Texas, and also no Alabama. Cold. Exactly. Google Earth. So this is Joy Road. This is actually where she disappeared from. I'm not sure where along Joy Road, just on Joy Road. So this is a pretty long road, but the first thing you see with this is it is out in the middle of the woods. You are either hitting a house or something, or you're in the middle of the woods. Okay, maybe if it's down on this end of Joy Road, there might be a little bit more activity, but otherwise, that's scary with the amount of woods that they're having to cover right now. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of the idea of the area that we are looking for. And no, not, yes, Joy, it's all you. It's all your fault, Joy. And never fails, huh? And so that was a big concern for me there. Not sure. I think there's a river. Yeah, there's a little creek running out over this way. I'm not sure. Let's pull out a little bit and see how close we are to big roads. Okay, so 65 would be the closest here, 59 and all, but six. So it's really, even to get to interstates and all, it's going to take a little bit of work to get to. And so her story itself actually started on Sunday morning. And I'm going to go back to showing actually, now that you've kind of seen the area there, I want to have her picture up there as much as possible. So let's pull this back here. Okay. So basically, the story itself started yesterday morning, Sunday morning, early morning. What happened? Yeah, Joy's changing her name now. And so what ended up happening was Joy went to bed, or was last seen. I don't know if she was going to bed or not, but she was last seen between 1:30 and 2 a.m. If you're talking about this morning's press conference, yes, and we are going to watch that, actually. It's really short. One of the main reasons why I can repeat everything from the press conference, but they had a prayer at the end of it, and I want to play that prayer just for all of us to be part of that community also at that time. but I will be pulling that in once we get to when the press conference occurred in this. Now, if there's a new press conference, no, I have not seen the any second press conference. So hopefully we're talking this morning's. 1:30, 2 a.m. yesterday morning, she was last seen. I think she lives with her mom and all. I don't know if she was in bed, going to bed. My thought is she would have been in bed already because today is school day. So I would have thought by 1:30 or 2 a.m. But you know what? Things happen. Things happen. The next time that's important is 3 a.m. Now, these two time frames that we're looking at right now, I have not seen come from the police. They're only coming from the AL.com website, which is the Alabama news site, kind of like. They mentioned the 1:30 to 2 a.m. bit and then 3 a.m. What happened at 3 a.m.? 3 a.m., she was discovered missing. That's a super, super tight window considering overnight. Usually when you hear of someone missing overnight, you're talking hours in between when they went to sleep till when they woke up, i.e. Sebastian. Okay, you're hearing tons of time. 1:30 or 2 a.m. to 3, you're talking an hour to an hour and a half. That's not a lot of time at all. However, it was not reported to 11. Now, why? Could be many reasons. And first of all, recognizing why at 3 a.m., yes, and Joy, that's why I wanted to go back and visit that first. There could be reasons. You guys know me. I'm not going to jump into one thing or another. Yes, your head goes into all sorts of thoughts, but you guys know how I go. I'll be honest, any of you guys who know me know I don't go to bed till 3, 4 in the morning a lot of times. It's very possible that maybe mom was getting ready to go to sleep and opened up the door just to check in on her at that time. I'm not sure how she has left the room or the house. Was it through a window? Was it through a door? Whatever. Another possibility is, did they have alarm? I have an alarm system here on our house. So if anything opens up in the middle of the night, we're going to get some level of alert coming through. So did an alert come through? And mom got up to go check on everything. And while checking on everything to make sure it was okay, she noticed that Alexa was missing. I don't know. We don't know. It is a very tight window, though, that this girl went missing during. Very tight. The other thing that happened when mom found out that she was missing is they came across a letter from Alexa saying that she was planning on running away. I don't know if it was about this one. I'm suspecting it was about this event itself, but basically saying her plan was she was running away. Now, 10 a.m., y'all who have 10-year-olds, 10 a.m., 10-year-old, those of you who have 10-year-olds or who have had 10-year-olds, preteens, especially if you're going through all hormonal changes and stuff like that, that's one of the bigger dangers right now with things happening earlier and earlier, is that when they get upset and they have fights, and we don't know, they may have had a fight, they may not have had a fight. It could be related to what's really worrying me, which is, were there any groomers involved here? That's my biggest freaking fear right now, is there a groomer involved or something like that? Joy, good point. Who wrote it? Have they looked at the handwriting? Things like that. If they are saying she's a runaway, then yeah, exactly. And the letter though says she's a runaway. And my thing is this though: a 10-year-old who runs away is in extreme danger. Okay, extreme danger beyond anything. There is no Amber Alert seal. They could not do an Amber Alert because it did not qualify for an Amber Alert. That's part of the problem here. They don't have a vehicle. They don't have all those things that usually are required nowadays, unless you're in, say, Texas or a few places. You see that I also, because what's going to come next is how long it took the police to get involved. Now we're not over there right now. We don't know what's happening. Okay, she may have been calling family, friends, okay, trying to track her down or things like that. I don't know. Or thinking, oh, maybe she just went over to a friend's house or something. I don't know. Okay, we're all in our own little circles and we respond the way we would respond, and everyone responds differently because the stories are our life with our families are differently. If she has run away, someone's seen her, and that's my concern right now. If she truly was a runaway, where is that person speaking up and saying, no, no, she's fine, she's fine? Okay, she just was having a fight with someone who decided she wanted to get away for a while or whatever. Where is that person? Because we are now coming up on 2 days. By tomorrow morning, we're at 2 days. I mean, time is going by quickly. So the letter was out there. Police are not sharing the contents of this letter. Now that's not strange. That's kind of normal. Most times we don't get the letter, okay, that is written or anything like that. But they're not sharing anything about it other than to say that she had said she wanted to run away. Next time, 3 a.m., she's found missing. The authorities were alerted according to their press conference. And like I said, we'll play the press conference at 11 a.m. And I'm telling you all this now so that when you listen to the press conference, you can kind of listen in with a little bit more knowledge about what's going on to be able to really look at what is going on and what your guts are telling you and stuff like that. So around 11 a.m., the authorities were alerted after, okay, a 911 call was made letting them know that Alexa was missing. And they did say it did not meet Amber Alert level. They've got a letter saying that she was running away. They don't have vehicles. They don't have all the other things. Okay, all they know is what Alexa looks like. And so they did not do an Amber Alert, but instead of that, they did a Nixle alert. How many of you guys where you live have Nixle? We have it here in Hawaii. And it will send out alerts for anything that's an emergency. It could be water main breaks, accidents on the road, missing people, whatever. Joy just said street people would have seen her. Yes. And it's a small town too. She will get hungry. Is she being helped? Yes. And that's my guys, why I am so worried about this case. If she truly was a runaway at 10 years old, whoever is around her, I think would be alerting people. That's why I'm worried about this. A lot of you guys don't have Nixle. Okay. Nixle, which is, I think, Nixle, if I recall correctly. It's a program that you can opt into wherever you live. If they have it, Cassie, stop growling. And you opt into what areas you want to hear information about. So like me, there's certain things I really want to know my updates about. I want to know if, say, there's an accident on the road so I don't get stuck in traffic. I want to know if there's a missing person. I want to know, okay, whatever the list is of power outages, things like that. You can also say what areas you want. For example, I want to know about stuff on my half of the island. I don't need to know about a power outage on the other side of the island. So that's how Nixle works. So they could not do an Amber Alert, but they wanted to get the word out because, again, like us right now, a 10-year-old, they need to be found quickly. And so they did the Nixle Alert, and basically Amber Alert without calling it an Amber Alert, but only to the people who are connected into Nixle. And now the other issue that they ran into, which I personally have an issue with, is police. One of the criteria usually for Amber Alerts is that they're in imminent danger. The police have said they do not believe, at least yesterday, we got to remember this was yesterday, did not believe she was in imminent danger. I personally feel a 10-year-old out on the streets is in imminent danger. Yes, this is a small town, so maybe I think differently than a small town. Small town might be thinking, okay, a runaway in a small town, okay, they just stay local. I don't know. All it takes is getting on one bus and getting into the big city. You're in danger. So teach their own with that. And um, so police started looking immediately. They were out yesterday getting the word out locally and all that, trying to track down, make phone calls. They involved people on the local. I don't know if federal level is involved at this point, but definitely local. Maybe I can verify that when we listen to the press conference right now. So let me pull, I've kind of given you a good base on this. I have a bunch of stuff that happened today, but let's do this in order. And the next thing that would have happened in this order is the press conference. Runaways run from small towns. That's it, exactly. Especially on a teenager level. Okay, 10-year-old, would they stay closer? Would they run? I don't know. I think it depends on the child. Okay, would she have run to other family? Well, why aren't the other family members speaking up? That's something too. Okay, because is it possible? Okay, you know what? All of us had fights with our kids when we were kids, with our parents when we were teens or preteens. Every one of us had those fights. Um, the problem is, I think most of those people would have truly spoken up and said, "Oh, wait, wait, no, no, she's fine, she's fine, she's with me. You don't need to worry about anything whatsoever." So, let me see real quickly. I think this is, aha, there it is. Okay, let me pull this up and we're going to start with this. I think I do have subtitles on this, so that should help. Here we go. Okay. So this is the press conference from earlier today. It happened this morning. Um, one of the first things that happened this morning to update people. So let's go. It's only 4 minutes, guys. It's literally straight to the point. Prayer at the end. So yeah. So we can get through this one pretty quick. But now that you've got the basics, you can kind of listen in for that next layer of information.
Chief Best with Blumpsville Police Department. We are urgently seeking public assistance in locating 10-year-old Alexa Bliss, who has been missing since early hours of March 10th, 2024. Alexa was last known to be at her family's residence before she left a note indicating her intention to run away. The specifics of the letter cannot be shared at this time due to the ongoing investigation. The authorities were alerted to Alexa's disappearance at approximately 11 a.m.
I'm going to stop it right there. There's some language in here, and guys, I don't, you know how I feel on assumptions and stuff like that, but there are some things that just the wording is kind of weird. Yeah, hormones and teens, it's brutal. That's why my heart goes out to any teenager. We've all been through it. None of us would ever want to go through it again. And all.
March 10th, after her family conducted an initial search for an unknown amount of time and then contacted 911. The Blumpsville Police Department immediately initiated a search operation in surrounding areas. Despite efforts, the situation did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert. However, notifications have been disseminated via the Nixwell alert system. At this stage of the investigation, we do not believe that Alexa Bliss is an immediate danger. Nevertheless, the search effort is our top priority. The Blumpsville Police Department, in collaboration with FBI, Blount County Sheriff's Department, Blumpsville Fire Department, Blount County Emergency Management Agency, and other supporting agencies are dedicating extensive resources to Alexa's case. We are grateful for the overwhelming support as our capacity as a small department is significantly enhanced by their assistance. Drones were deployed at 10 a.m. today, March 11th.
I'm going to stop again. Exactly, Seal. She's 10. How is she not in imminent danger? In all respect, all respect. Okay, how? How is she not? It also seems to be, it's local right now. It has not really, and that might be part of the thing. Maybe involving more from the outside, they'll get a better view of just how dangerous this actually is.
2024 to conduct aerial surveys of the immediate vicinity in hopes of locating Alexa. We are committed to utilizing every available technology and resource in our search efforts. We urge anyone with information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, to come forward and assist us in ensuring Alexa's safe return. Your cooperation is critical during this time. Updates will be provided as soon as more information becomes available. Our collective focus is on the well-being and safe recovery of Alexa Bliss. For any information related to Alexa's whereabouts or any relevant tips, please contact Chief Best or Assistant Chief Weaver at the Blunt'sville Police Department directly through Blount County Dispatch 205-625-4912. At this time, I'm going to ask Councilman Contrell to pray over this situation.
Okay, so we're going to continue on in a second. I want to bring a couple things up that are going to come up with this now. Couple things within this. He's going to bring up in the next part her height and how she does look, because one of the first things that popped up, the first photo that we were given was actually an older photo, and people were like, "There's no way this kid is 5'4". That doesn't make sense for a 10-year-old." And yet, over time, we got the newer ones, and we're like, "Okay, that could make more sense now. That could make more sense." But they point that out coming up here, that she is tall. You add in her height, and yes, those of you in chat, you're talking about it right now. Thanks to good old hormones and stuff like that, and hitting certain times of her life and all, she does look much older than she looks. And that's a danger, because I hate to say it, a 10-year-old who is being groomed, and I'm not saying she was or she wasn't, that's a possibility. That's all it is. But in general, if you have a 10-year-old who is being groomed by someone versus, say, a 15 or 16-year-old, they approach that type of interaction differently. A 10-year-old is much more trusting. Okay, yes, a 15 or 16-year-old is still pretty trusting because they want friends and all that. But there's a difference that happens with age. And that's the concern here. People see, okay, and that's what they did with me. They always saw me as a good 5 years older than I was. People always thought that about me. I was older. And they would treat me that way. And my mindset was not at that level yet. She is a baby still. She's going to, I think it's going to need to draw more attention now, because, and I am going to do this, guys. I know it's very frustrating right now hearing this, that she's not in imminent danger and all these other comments. I can tell you this. The police have done they're really working hard. They brought in some things. I'd like to see them bring in more from the outside. But they have been really trying to, I mean, they've had dogs and drones and helicopters in. They are doing those things. But I do think now every minute that goes by is a minute lost. We know that. So hopefully they will bring in more state-based things, or maybe even federal at this point, because once we hit that 48 hours, guys, this is runaway or not. Okay, every moment that goes by, she is in danger, plain and simple. Yeah, she's still, if she's run away, she's got to be having someone help her at this point. Okay, there's no way she is out there on her own if all she has with her is her her shorts, not even long pants, long sleeve shirt and shorts. It's cold. Okay. And Lioness, that's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear right now. And that's why we need to get her name out there, because my concern is this community is going to focus on the searches. They're going to go into the woods. They're going to go into the creek. They're going to go do all that. But in the meantime, we need to get pictures of her into the bigger cities and all the locations around this town. Because without that, yeah, BC, exactly. When you heard it, you were yelling at your, yeah. And that's why I responded the way that I did this morning. Those of you who knew I posted, you'll understand why I was just getting so frustrated. Because I'm scared to every moment that goes by is a moment where her life may never be the same and all. And that's not good. And so let me go back to this. And this guy is great. What he's at this congressman, really, really nice. He brings up some really, he's more comfortable with the press, you can see. And then the prayer at the end, I think really gives us a chance to come together because in the end, we do have to lean on hope, faith, and whatever that looks like. And Robbie, I love you, my dear. Aloha. So here we go.
Yes, I'm Councilman Tyler Cantrell. This is our police chief, Shane Best, and he and his crew have been doing a great job on this. We really appreciate their diligent efforts, and I want to thank them for all that they're doing. I just wanted to say just briefly how much this is affecting our town, and I speak for the mayor and the council that we are all in prayer, and we know our school's affected, our law enforcement's affected. Everybody knows everybody in this town. We're all affected. I wanted to ask, please take a very close look at the description of Alexa. She is 10 years old, but she is 5'4" and 120 pounds. She is an uncharacteristically tall child. You may be looking at her and think she's a teenager. Please look at the pictures that we have put out of her so that you can identify her if you do see her. And again, Chief Best asked that you call 205-625-4912. That is the Blount County Dispatch, and just they will get in touch with the Blountsville Police Department. Any information will be very important to us, and time is critical. We really want to get her back home as safe and quick as possible. So we're going to say a prayer, and we want to thank the police department, the sheriff's department, and all the agencies that are doing all this diligent work to find her right now, and we truly hope you have some information that can help us. Lord, we come to you. I give you thanks for all the agencies who are working so hard to find Alexa. We pray, God, for her safe return. We pray for her family, for her teachers, for her classmates. We pray, God, that you would keep her safe and guide us to her, and that you would keep all of those searching for her, Lord, that you would just help them discern and guide them straight to her. And God, if there is anyone with any information, we pray that they would reach out and help us, Lord, put the pieces together that brings her home. In your name we pray. Amen.
And there's a bunch of different pictures. I'm actually going to pause right there because one of the things that did happen, like I said, is the initial picture was of her. I'll show it to you in a second, of her, and she did not look, she looks like a 10-year-old actually in the first picture. Not like a 5'4" person who weighed 120 pounds. But then these pictures came up and we realized, okay, there is definitely, okay, she hit her growth spurt. And Lioness, no, there are no interviews or anything like that at this point. We're in that first 36 hours or so right now. And it really hasn't, I think they're so focused locally. They're responding to this the way a small town would respond to this. And that's probably the best way to put it, is that they are responding like a small town would respond, with the love and the care. So yeah, that stuff. We're parents on, is there an, we're parents on TV. I haven't seen anything yet, but that doesn't mean maybe tonight and I have missed it today, but I don't think so. And no problem, Joy. Have fun with your granddaughter. Hey, the kiddos take priority. Always should, always will. And so I'm real quickly going to, for those of you who have come in, okay, since I showed this, show you guys exactly where Alexa disappeared from. So this is Alabama, guys. Okay, Alabama, a little north of Birmingham, out in the middle of nowhere. Very, very small town. Okay, the street, Joy Road, named after our dear Joy here. Sorry, I had to do that. And we don't know where along this road, just on this road somewhere is where her house was. And she went missing sometime between 1:30 and 2 in the morning and 3 in the morning. very small window from what we understand right now, on Sunday morning. So hopefully we'll find out. I'm really hoping. Yeah, we've got helicopters, and that pulls us into the next step of things. What exactly is going on since that press conference? After the press conference, sometime this morning around 10 a.m., it may have been right before the press conference, they sent drones up. So they had drones up looking everywhere because there's a lot of land here to look for. And the land is varied between trees and open areas. So they did send out drones. And then about 4 p.m., and this is why I'm saying the police have done a great job at updating people. If you go to the Blountesville Police Department Facebook site, they are updating people step by step by step, not just once a day right now. They are actually updating regularly right now. Thea, I love you, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear, so much. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, a lot of trees. By the way, guys, Thea, if you guys like paranormal stuff and getting scared big time, yeah, head to Thea. So much fun. It's the stuff that I love to watch. I love to watch that. I love to scare myself though, also. But thank you, my dear. So yeah, a lot of trees. They had the drones out. 4 p.m. we got a new update. I'm estimating 4 p.m. ish because of course when I looked at Facebook it was like 3 hours ago, stuff like that. So local time around 4 p.m. ish, they gave an update. Yeah, BC, the updates they're doing is amazing, really amazing, and they deserve kudos for that, big time. And they put out a note that they had a canine tracking team en route. They had not started up a actual search, grid searches and stuff like that yet, where tons of neighbors and locals come out because they're ready. The moment the canine en route post came, literally 67 response saying, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm here to help search if you guys need me. Okay, this community is ready to go and chomping at the bit just to get out there. And but the problem is this. Someone mentioned, because I was like, why are they not letting searches really get going yet? Someone made a comment in the comments that made complete, utter sense to me. We know search dogs go based off of scent, right? So the more people are out searching, okay, the more people are out there on the ground, the more scents, okay, nose, smells, that the dogs are going to have to separate. If they're trying to find Alexa's scent, it's a huge difference. Okay, if there's only 4 or 5 people they have to sift through versus 30, 40, 50 people. So it made complete sense when I saw that comment from someone why that was not happening in that way. So around 6 p.m. their time, we got an update again, this time letting us know that the dogs were now on the ground and they were actually going out trying to pick up the scent of Alexa to find out which direction did she go, all of that. Now my suspicion is, BC, I don't know if you feel this way too, but my suspicion is they may have actually gotten something, but we don't know what it is because at 8:30 p.m., so literally, okay, pretty quickly, we got another message saying that there were helicopters now up checking the area that the dogs searched. So I'm hoping against all hope that that means that they caught this, okay, her scent, and were able to get an idea of the general vicinity and direction. And then they're like, okay, that's great. Dogs are there. Now let's get the helicopters up, maybe infrared, whatever they have available at that time, and try to track her down. It seemed that way to you too, BC. Okay. Yeah, I'm really hoping, because then that means I would hope in my gut that maybe it was a regular runaway situation. And that's why it's important now it gets found out quickly, because it's going to be freaking cold. I haven't checked this actually yet. Let's check. Blounceville, Blounceville, Alabama, uh, weather. Let's find out what the weather report is for them tonight. Right now, guys, and it's only 9 p.m. It's 44 degrees. Now, yeah, I know I live in Hawaii, but that's cold. 69% humidity. It's going to drop down to 35 degrees tonight. And again, remember, if she's outside and doesn't have coverage of some sort to stay warm, she is wearing shorts and a long sleeve shirt. Temperature is dropping to 35. Oh boy, is there an update? Okay, let me go check that real quick. I hate it when I get things commented. I'm hoping it's, let me just real quickly see what we're hearing here. PD. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, BC. And so as of right now, I'm going to pull up their site instead right now, so you guys can actually see what it is I'm reading right now. Screen share. Let's see. Here we are. Okay, so this is the Blounceville Police Department website. I mean, Facebook. 22 minutes ago, we've got this, and I'm reading this at the same time as you, gang. I'm sorry. 22 minutes ago, we appreciate all the suggestions and the offers to volunteer. If you are asking a question, we have asked it. If someone need questioned, we have questioned them. If somewhere needed searched, we have searched it. There are definitely details that nobody knows except the one or ones involved. We are diligently trying to put the pieces together and truly appreciate everyone's support. The main objective is to bring Alexa home safely. This will be the last post tonight unless a major update occurs. So, they have not found her, but they are reminding us that they are doing all their due diligence. And gang, I do have to say this. The way they have been updating us, we know all the questions. We all know the questions. And we want to make sure they get answered. I suspect that's exactly what they've been doing. And yeah, in the bushes, and this is one of the things, I'm not sure if it's because the police department doesn't deal with this stuff regularly. But there have been a few language uses in the press conference and now here that people are like, whoa. Is there something there? That could literally be us just trying to fill in the blanks. Honestly, gang, it could be. Okay, they could be trying to cover all their bases. Okay, or it could be actually something that is related. How isn't she in danger? No, she's in danger. And I think they know it at this point. I would be so much happier if we could, at this point, have a more federal connection, whether it's through the regional FBI office or whatever. Just not saying they can't do the job. They're doing a great job. They truly are doing a great job. But people with knowledge who deal with things regularly, just the behavior department, okay, those who go into behavior analysts within the FBI may be able to help see something that others can't see. And yeah, in the bushes, it could be. That was one of the comments earlier. Why did they say that they don't think she was in imminent danger? Someone said, of course she's in danger. Of course, she's 10 years old. Could they have said that so as not to put someone on alert? I don't know. Speculation, that's probably the thing. And yeah, Lioness, it could also be a plain out old runaway thing, and you've got another 10-year-old out there who has hidden her somewhere, and now they're scared to speak up because at that age, you're so worried about getting in trouble with the police. So there's a lot of possibility. That's what speculation is. But what we don't want to do is get tunnel vision either, because then we're not doing her any good. And I think they, at least from what they wrote there, it sounds that they're really doing the best job that they can right now. And they're even letting us, even going as far as to say, guys, this is our last update for tonight. So don't sit here waiting for another update or anything like that, because the only thing that would get updated is letting us know something happened. So we'll have to see what happens with that. The helicopters up kind of tells me they may not have seen anything. Let me check real quickly. 26 minutes ago, the state helicopter announcement was 2 hours ago. So that's probably an hour and a half in between the two posts. So they may still be up. I'd have to go check the website to see if there's anything up above that area. But they've been up pretty good. And yeah, I think a lot of us are very worried. And that's why I wanted the prayer to be said tonight as part of that press conference, rather than cutting it short or something like that. They also are saying they don't need any volunteers. Yeah. And that at first people were thinking, well, they didn't need the volunteers at this time and all that because they wanted to get the dogs out first, but there's something else here and I don't know what it is. I'm hoping to God it's not a grooming type situation. I'm really hoping it's not that. I'm hoping there's something else involved here. To be honest, the best situation would be if another 10-year-old is hiding her somewhere and they're just scared to come out and let everyone know. But they know something right now. So we'll see. I will keep following this if anything pops up overnight with this. I am going to cover the Hawaii thing now also. So those of you who jump out as soon as you hear me talk that way, we're still going to cover one more thing. I'm hoping, yeah, I'll update you throughout the night. If I hear an update before I go to bed tonight, I'll definitely let y'all know for sure about that. So, yeah, scary. When you see a 10-year-old disappear like that, it's taking on a different level than most of us are used to. So Hawaii. I think most of you may have seen, there may have been a couple of you guys who did not see my community tab yesterday. We had pretty big tragedy occur locally yesterday. Like I said, the last time we had a really big loss of life due to crime in Hawaii was 1999 with Byron Uesugi and the Xerox murders. Workplace violence thing. We had a lot of people that we lost during that. Yesterday morning, we started getting notifications that in Manoa, and I'm actually going to pull back up the Google Earth so you guys can see this area that we're talking about. So let me do this real quick. Okay, let me go back. Sorry, let's see how far away we're now moving. Here we go. So Manoa is actually on Oahu, which is where I live. It's where Honolulu is, Waikiki, all of that. It's fairly near Waikiki. It's where the University of Hawaii is. There's Diamond Head right there. That's Diamond Head you're looking at right there. Okay. This is Manoa Valley. University of Hawaii is down here. You get all the way up near the top of the valley and you find yourself on this small little street called Wa'aloa Place. Yesterday at around 8 a.m., if I recall my times correctly, a phone call came in to 911. It was an anonymous phone call that came in, basically saying that they were on the street and they could hear a lot of fighting occurring in one of the houses here. Okay, it was an upstairs. It was a house. A lot of our houses have multiple families living in them. Like the top floor might be one family and the bottom floor another family. From my understanding, it was the top floor of this house. A lot of argument going on and all that. So they called the police at around 8 a.m. Police came out to find out what was going on. And when they got there, there was no one to meet them. The anonymous caller was nowhere around at the time. And when they went to the door and knocked on the door, there was no answer. So they left. A little while later, okay, maybe 30 minutes or so later, they received another phone call from I think it was the same person. And they said, something's okay. And they repeated everything that happened. And this time they were able to say, well, we need to have you there. From what I'm understanding now, the person who made the 911 call, if I'm understanding this correctly, was extremely scared based off of what they heard. And they were scared to be anywhere near the vicinity at that time. And that's why they went out at the time. They were actually in hiding themselves. And so police came back out. Okay. And this time were able to get in the house. They had enough reason to get in that. You can't just break into anyone's house. We know that. You have to have a reason. And an anonymous phone call is not a reason to break into someone's house. But now they were able to identify someone connected with that phone call. And also they were able to get in. And what they walked into was horrible. There was a family of 5 in there. All 5 members of the family were deceased and had been killed with a knife. They had to figure out pretty quickly what was going on. There was a male, a female, adults, and then 3 children from middle school age through high school. And long story short, will do, Mark. Hey, good seeing you, by the way, Mark. Good seeing you, my dear. Long story short, if you picture it, it could not have been a scene that was easy to witness. And as they started looking into it further, they realized that the father, it was a family, and the father actually killed his 3 children and his wife, and then killed himself with the same knife. I know there was a comment on my community tab saying, I can't believe he killed himself with the same, and that was my thought too. I mean, crimes with knives take on a different level of connection with the person. It's a different type of thing, especially with this many people. And but he did actually kill himself with the knife also. So let me pull up. So this is the neighborhood where this happened. We had police there. This is the first time, and I don't know how long, where we had a chaplain on site. The chief of the police department was there because it was so hard for people who had to go inside. Hey, give up. How you doing, my dear? Welcome. It was a really hard thing for them to walk into. So just to start with, you guys, this is the area that we're talking about. This area in through here, this is a mountain range right here. It's the Ko'olaus and all, and there's really no going further up there, okay, than that area. Maybe a little bit up here where you get into Paradise Park. It was horrific, I mean, from what I'm hearing, and just really bad. So let me go ahead, and we're starting to hear a little bit more about who was involved and things like that. They have not, unless it changes at the 5 o'clock news right now, because it's 4:59 right now. They have not said the names of the people. Everyone locally has figured out who they are. The mother of the father, the one who killed the rest of the family, did contact family and say, we need you to go get some stuff from the house or something like that. I think it was. But Mom's family is on vacation right now. And because of that, they're trying to give the family the benefit of not finding out about all of this through social media. However, everyone does know, we do know that the guy involved was a chiropractor, one of our local chiropractors. So I'm going to play this video real quickly, just to give you guys an update on this.
Community is shaken after Honolulu police say a man fatally stabbed his wife and 3 children before killing himself. Flowers and lei have been left at the home in a quiet Manoa neighborhood.
Investigators are trying to piece together the motive in the horrific crime. Officers made the discovery a little after 9 Sunday morning. It was the second time police responded to the Wa'aloa Place home. Meanwhile, we're learning new details about the family. Joining us now is Daryl Huff with the latest. What can you tell us, Daryl?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are protecting as a courtesy to the family, we are not naming them as of yet. I know that the names are all out there. Many people are aware of who they are, but we are doing them a courtesy, waiting for some kind of official confirmation. We know that the families are aware because the mother of the killer called his brother and sent him to the house and said that your brother is dead. Then the children and their families, the school Ohanas have been informed. We're told that the oldest daughter, who was 17 years old, a senior at Iolani School, is being remembered there today with counseling going on for all the kids and so on. And then the other 2 children were 12 and 10, and they went to Manoa School, which is really not far from the location of this house. Of course, DOE officials are responding with counseling and so on for the kids there. Very traumatic.
Sorry, guys, if you just saw me get a look on my face. After we're done with this, we're going to play another video. They did just identify the family that was involved in this. I'm going to still go ahead and play this because there's some good information in here. That they did just pictures of the family. So I will show that as soon as we're done with this one.
Traumatic event and just terrible. I've been looking quite a bit into the killer, who was a local chiropractor originally from Kauai. Some indication that he may have had some financial issues. I don't want to go into the details yet because I'm still working that. We have a number of reporters working on this story today. Mahealani Richardson, Lynn Kawano are out working this story to try and get all the angles, because this is really the worst murder case that we've had since Byron Uisugi killed 7 coworkers almost 30 years ago.
Right, and Chief Logan yesterday kind of got into that about how these types of cases are rare here in Hawaii. Let's play some of that sound that we have yesterday.
Is one of these things that doesn't normally happen in Hawaii. As you mentioned, it was in 1999. It's the last time in the Xerox shooting where 7 people were killed. And so that is traumatic. I know as a young officer at that period of time. And then today being in this, it's talking to the officers who were there at the scene initially, trying to find out what they were feeling, what they were going through at that point in time. And so vicariously, I absorbed some of that. And so I feel for those officers and what they will see.
Definitely a horrific situation. All of this unfolding after we've learned that a neighbor called police in the early morning hours following an argument that was reported. But there is still so much to uncover in all of this. But what we know again so far is the father killed his wife and 3 children before killing himself. And as Daryl, you mentioned, we have reporters trying to find out as much information as we can on this.
And just to add a couple more details, we believe the police have said it was a stabbing. A knife was used. It was recovered at the scene. The process of identifying, and I mentioned it's taking a while. It's been over 24 hours. It's unusual for us to have to withhold the names this long, but apparently the wife's family is either traveling or perhaps in another country, perhaps in Japan. She has a Japanese first name. And so it could be that's what's taking so long.
That's part of the thing, Give Up. It's got to realize it's hard enough for people when they're police officers or medical people or whatever, when they see stuff like this just normally. But this is not something you see even normally here. Yes, we're a big city. We have crime, but not a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 17-year-old and their mom and dad all laying deceased in a house. Okay, that's not norm. That's not norm at all. And it is. It's sad and it's senseless right now. You're going to hear a little bit with it that this family used to celebrate all the holidays. Okay, the kids would be outside playing all the time. I mean, it's a small neighborhood. Um, this last Christmas, there were no Christmas decorations up. So you could see the changes. I can tell you this also, the police did not have history with this house. Okay, a lot of people think when they hear something like this, oh yeah, there were DV issues in the household or stuff like that. Police probably went regularly and all that. And this time it just progressed too far. That did not happen this time. This family had no history with the police department. Now, does that mean there was or wasn't DV? We don't know. That is speculation. Okay, we don't know what the truth is. Okay, you can actually, his chiropractic website is up on the internet. Okay, but if there were money problems, that could interfere with things. Okay, we all know a lot of arguments happen around money. And also, here we go.
And we also heard from the CEO of the Domestic Violence Action Center, who you heard neighbors describing that this family lived upstairs in this home. They were very festive around the holidays.
The other thing that we have learned, we look back in the history, there's no reports of domestic violence. The police said they haven't responded to anything there. There's no TROs between the members of the family. Like I said, the only indication of any problems that we've heard of at all, the conceded potential financial issues for the husband, but that certainly doesn't justify what he did.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this is what DVAC had to say about maybe certain signs that you can be aware of. But you can never predict something like this will happen.
Well, this is a quiet neighborhood, right? In Hawaii, often that means you respect the privacy of your neighbors. It's hard to know when to cross that line.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
All too often, we minimize the domestic violence, we minimize the abuse that may be happening in a family. So as neighbors, we might hear shouting or arguing, and sometimes we just don't do anything about it because it's a private matter. But oftentimes we can reach out on some level to the children or the family members to perhaps get them information that they might need if they or a loved one is going through abuse or domestic violence. The thing I would say is, don't minimize, take it seriously. If you're not sure, just reach out.
Don't minimize.
That was a good point there that I did. And that's one reason why I wanted to play this whole video here, because they did have all this stuff in it. How many times have any of us been at home and we've heard neighbors fighting? Now, we all fight. So in the back of our heads, a lot of times we're thinking, oh, yeah, well, I fight too. Okay, trust me, Mom and I can get in screaming matches at times. But follow your gut. If you're hearing things regularly, if you're seeing different things where certain people come out, but other people don't seem to ever really come outside of the house, whatever it is, call or talk to family and just say to that family member, okay, if you need help, here's a phone number. I don't know if anything's happened, or just find different ways you can talk with them. It may be nothing, but I'd rather err on the side of nothing than something. That's for sure. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in. It can happen anywhere. Yeah, BC, exactly. Can happen completely Guys, Manoa is a pretty well-to-do neighborhood. It's not like Millionaire Alley or anything like that, but it is a pretty comfortable area. I mean, he was a chiropractor. Gives you an idea. Okay, there was good amount of money coming in. I don't know if they rented or if they owned or anything like that. You did that on Saturday night. Cecil, and that's great. You did that. I would rather someone err on that. It's like I say to people with abuse, okay, in nursing homes or elder abuse or things like that. If you feel something is wrong, report it. Okay, let other people make decisions on things. No, give up gambling. Hawaii has gambling outlawed. There is no gambling. We don't even have a lottery in Hawaii. It's a big issue. It's the reason why most of us in Hawaii love Vegas. Vegas is known as the eighth island because of the fact we love gambling. We've tried to get it passed multiple times. Okay, as a state, they've tried to look at doing it on boats and stuff like that, but it's never actually passed. So, in the bushes is off to bed. Sleepy pie, my dear. Sleep tight. And also, that's the fun of the new time change that I hate. And but love you, my dear. And thanks.
Minimize
Here we
and
go.
take it
Almost at
seriously.
the
That is the
news.
message there. We have some information
These are
for the
national
National
info.
Domestic Violence Hotline. The number there, 1-800-799-SAFE. You can also text START to 88788. And the website, of course, thehotline.org. Some valuable resources right there for you.
Yeah, and we mentioned, the community heartbroken about this tragedy. We also know that the killer has connections to Kauai, a very small knit community there, also shaken by this news and kind of trying to comprehend why. But yeah, we'll definitely be looking forward to your coverage, Daryl.
Well, I think the one other point to make is that the report of this crime came originally from a tenant who was apparently so terrified that she just hunkered down until the police finally showed up. You can't imagine how horrifying and long this must have taken. It's just.
So I suspect this tenant who was renting, so something tells me they owned, and they were renting out part of the house to tenants, maybe even University of Hawaii students. A lot of students live in that valley. Yeah, they may never have the answers they need. Yeah, true. Can you picture that feeling? Hey, Lone Wolf. Oh, okay. Got it. We'll do Lone Wolf. Check Discord, DM again. Awesome. Thank you. In fact, I almost forgot about that. That's how crazy I got. And I will definitely do that. So could you see that though? Making that phone call. She or he was in that house hearing what was happening as 4 people were murdered and one took their own life. They didn't know, was it the family fighting? They probably just heard screaming and yelling at each other. Was there someone else out there? Was the person, after they did whatever they did, going to come downstairs? Yeah, give up. It took a lot to call that in, and the trauma they're going to deal with too. Okay, trauma with not only would that person have potentially come downstairs, should they have done this? Should they, we all do that. They were a hero by even making the phone call that they made. They were a hero in my eyes on that. So let's go back to this.
It's terrible to think about.
Our Daryl Huff joining us here in the Hawaii News Now Digital Center. Daryl, we thank you so much for your reporting. We will have more on this story coming up in later editions of Hawaii News Now.
Morning with the latest on the murder.
So, I want to switch now to, thank you, Lone Wolf. That is, yes, I know. Before, I'll actually mention that in just a second, what you're actually sharing with me. Okay, let me share the last article that just popped up about the Hawaii stuff. As I mentioned, I didn't know if they had actually identified the family. They just did. This is the family in San Francisco. The 3 kids went to 2 different schools. I know the oldest went to Iolani School, 17 years old. 10 and 12 went to Manoa, intermediate, I think it was, probably intermediate. I'm going to go here. I don't know what's on this video, but we're just going to share it real quick.
I'm so heartbreaking and horrific. Many in Hawaii are struggling to process it.
A father in Manoa fatally stabbed his wife and 3 children before taking his own life. Hawaii News Now spoke to family members who confirmed the man's identity as 46-year-old Paris Oda. The victims of yesterday's apparent murder-suicide are 48-year-old Naoko Oda, 17-year-old Sakurako Oda, 12-year-old Orion Oda, and 10-year-old Nana Oda. Their neighbors in Manoa say everything seemed so normal.
Now they're desperately searching for answers. Our team coverage of this tragedy starts with Mahealani Richardson, who spoke to family and friends of the victims. Mahea.
Hawaii News Now spoke to Paris Oda's mother, Annette, about the horrific murder-suicide Sunday morning in quiet Manoa, where Paris stabbed and killed his wife, Naoko, and 3 children, 17-year-old Sakurako, 12-year-old Orion, and 10-year-old Nana. Annette Oda says Paris grew up on Kauai, and the family is, quote, wrestling with the news, in disbelief, and wish it never happened. When HNN asked if there were signs of trouble, she declined to comment. At the family's Manoa home on Wa'aloa Place, mourners came by to pay their respects at a growing memorial of flowers inlay. At the top of the stairway, a pink bear honoring the youngest daughter, Nana, and a note on a potted plant that says, "We love you."
10-year-old, same age as Alexa. So 2 children that we've talked about tonight at 10 years old.
Hi, this is Dr. Oda.
A neighbor and friend of the family told Hawaii News Now Naoko sometimes worked at Paris's chiropractic clinic. The family was looking forward to Sakurako's graduation from Iolani School. They were weighing college options in Hawaii and on the mainland, and that Sakurako was interested in nursing and cooking. We're told the mother and older daughter ran in the Hapalua Marathon in 2019 and finished 3 places apart.
Most of the people we talked to say they didn't know the family well, but are still devastated. One woman said she cried all day because of the tragedy.
Neighbors say what happened doesn't make sense.
Tragic. Everybody's feeling it, and everybody's just, it feels like part of your family. When we go on our walks, we go down there and we see the kids riding their bikes, skateboards in the neighborhood. So yeah, it was just very normal.
But one person says he sensed something was wrong.
Didn't feel right seeing the kids walk past us throughout the week, making eye contact. I could see something in their eyes, like they were sad, couldn't figure it out. And then seeing this on the news, just, it hurts.
Tonight, an entire community is hurting for the promising lives cut short and wondering what drove a man to mass murder. Reporting from Manoa, Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
And the Oda children all attended different schools on Oahu.
Each campus is now offering counseling to students and faculty. Lynn Kawano joins us now with more on the young victims. Lynn.
Guys, it's horrific to think that the kids were killed by their own father. The school communities are in shock and grieving. The oldest child, 17-year-old Sakurako Oda, attended Iolani School. Counselors went to all of her classes today to assist students and teachers who were struggling with the news. She was a senior set to graduate this summer. The 12-year-old Orion Oda was a 6th grader at Sikh's Charter School in Nu'uanu. A very close-knit group of students and parents there. Counselors also offered support to them. And the youngest, Nana Oda, attended Manoa Elementary School. The DOE notified parents that a crisis intervention team was there for anyone who needs help. Because the victims range in age and grade, counselors handle it differently at the various campuses. It's important to note that the adults will also be affected, the teachers and faculty.
Intense reaction of like anger perhaps and grief for perhaps a family you didn't even know. I'm so angry this could happen. Who would do that? So it's not like we're adults and we just handle it completely, we process it without going to that angry place. It's normal to feel angry. It's normal to wonder who would do this.
For children struggling with this, Young suggests talking to the younger children without too many details, but also listening and letting them ask questions, even if it's questions you don't have answers to. With the teens, an open dialogue and sometimes just comfort can be helpful. This was a senseless act. It does affect a lot of people in the community. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Our coverage of this grim case will continue throughout the night, both on air and on.
I'll stop that there. You know what? Think of that. 5 people. think about all the people in their lives that they've touched. Okay, whether it be coworkers, whether it be 3 different schools with children who, there's got to be easily a couple hundred people who knew these people on a daily basis. And we forget about that. We see the case there, but we forget about the rest of it. By the way, hi, Oscar, and hi, Sleuth. Sleuth fell asleep. See, it's this new time. What can I know. This time sucks. And I always like the winter months because it's like perfect and everything. So, but it is, yeah, I will let you know. I don't think there'll be a lot of updates on this case moving forward. I think, Alexa, we've got a lot that's going to come. Hopefully we'll find her by tomorrow. That's all I can hope for. And Thea, I'm thankfully in Arizona, and we don't bother with, you don't do time zone change either, Thea. See, I don't know why the whole country doesn't just say, forget time changes. They're stupid. We don't need them anymore. The whole reason why they were there was because we were a farm-based economy way back then. And we don't need it now, and it confuses everyone. It's crazy. But anyhow, one of the things I wanted to do, I have a couple things. Number one, I have a actual poll that I'm really interested in the answers. I might actually do a poll on the community tab about this. I'm trying to get an idea of what is it that you guys are interested in. Normally, I would not cover what I just covered because I usually cover missing people. But every now and then a case just hits me. And this one because it's local. But other cases just hit you and you want to know more about it. So I wanted to know, what is it? Okay, cold cases, missing person cases, current missing person cases. Okay, where is it that the majority of people would like to see more coverage of? So I wanted to talk about that. And Lone Wolf shared with me earlier on Discord, and I think I accidentally closed. By the way, what they just sent me was an update, and I'm not going to go over it tonight because we've already gone an hour, 22 minutes. But it was a video, actually. Sebastian's father was, actually, you know what? It's only 2.5 minutes. Let's share it. For those of you who've been following Sebastian, let's go ahead and share this, because it's only, if it had been like 10 minutes or so, I might have held off till tomorrow, but let's go ahead and share this. This was from 4 hours ago, and Lone Wolf just sent it to me. Those of you who've been following Sebastian's case and trying to see trying to see if we can find him, bring him home, what's going on. There's a lot of thoughts going on out there right now. So the news, his father actually had a discussion with the news. And I had heard this happen and I hadn't listened to it yet. I was going to listen to it after, but since I got you guys here, let's share this. And then we're going to end actually with some good news videos that he sent me of some missing children that had been found safe, because I don't know about you guys. I'm getting tired of the bad news. I know bad news comes with, okay, what we do, but we need some good news, gang. And Lone Wolf sent me some great good news. So let's go ahead, and I think I've got this shared, so let's go ahead with this.
We were just learning about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers from Sumner County. Today, the search continues. The case, though, we know is now a criminal investigation. Thanks for being with us at 6, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Kelsey Gibson for Carrie tonight. For the first time, we are getting a look at family video of the missing 15-year-old. Sebastian's biological father gave it to Nick Barris during an exclusive on-camera interview.
Seth Rogers shares custody of his son, and the deputy with the Davidson County Sheriff's Department spent the past 2 weeks looking for Sebastian.
I'm hoping he's still alive. You know, that's my main hope right now, is that he's not deceased. I mean, I keep praying that he's alive. I keep praying that somebody's going to see him, that somebody's going to call 911.
Seth's 15-year-old son disappeared barefoot and with a flashlight from his mother and stepfather's home in Hendersonville either late on Sunday, March 3rd or early that Monday. Seth knows the key to finding his son may come from a tip. Several photographs have already been made public, and now he's released 2 video clips of Sebastian. In this first one, you see Sebastian up front on the left in yellow shorts, participating in a tug-of-war with fellow students.
And if you watch, he got swung around at the end like a little rag doll, and it's like, well, he gave it his best.
This second video shows Sebastian walking at his middle school graduation.
I was very proud of him. I mean, he successfully completed something.
Seth says his son, who is autistic, is not a wanderer. He finds it highly unlikely Sebastian would leave in the middle of the night barefoot, based on an experience his son had as a child.
He decided that he wanted to step into a mound of what he thought was dirt, and it was fire ants. And since then, it's always been, he doesn't like to get his feet in the dirt. He likes to have his socks and shoes on.
Seth won't rule out the possibility of foul play.
I'm going to stop that right there. That was huge to me. A lot of us have talked about going barefoot outside, and would that be an issue because he doesn't like dirt and stuff like that. But between his dislike for dirt and all, and a very bad memory tied to being barefoot, that's making me think more and more that I almost want to say I don't see him going out without shoes. And could he have had socks that he felt comfortable about or something? That's possible. But without anything, no. Seal, yes, this is his biological dad. And to answer Give Up's question, what state? This is Tennessee. And he's been gone, missing now since, let me see, I've got his poster here, February 26th. And he is autistic. And so there's been a lot of questions with it, but things have just, it seems like nothing, they're not finding him and nothing, everything's just kind of stuck right now. But with the criminal, if they're looking at it on more of a criminal level now, but we don't have any real understanding of why yet.
That someone is involved in his son's disappearance. And if Sebastian is able, he says he needs to call for help.
He needs to call 911. And if somebody has him, you need to give him back. He's my son, and he doesn't belong to nobody, but damn it, he's mine. And he's mine.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Today, authorities have named no suspects and say that all of Sebastian's parents continue to cooperate with the investigation.
So that kind of gives you a good idea of where we are right now. Yeah, Seal, I'm not sure about that too. I've tried to figure out the level of autism also. We've heard that he is verbal, but has moments of nonverbalness. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly with that. This is a long time for him to be gone. And every day that goes on, that's why even with Alexa, we're now coming up on 2 days. Okay, in a couple hours, it'll be 2 days. Every day that goes by, you just see it getting longer and longer, and then it just becomes a number. High functioning, yes, definitely high functioning. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely high functioning. I've wondered about some of his nonverbal at times, but so what makes the difference on when he's verbal versus not verbal? Is it stranger versus friend? Is it emotional? That's what I've really been trying to figure out, is how that all works. But we've been able to see some of his issues. Okay, for example, people were worried about the water with him, because we know children who are on the spectrum are drawn to water. But the problem in this case is he has a major issue with dirt. And I don't blame him. I mean, think about water that's in a lake or a river or something like that. It doesn't make sense. Okay, swimming pool, yes. Okay, I would be so sick. I don't know how these yeah, I don't know. And unfortunately, there's a lot of pointing fingers and stuff like that right now, because the longer we don't have answers, the more people tend to create their own answers. And that's the hard part, because we all do it. Every one of us does it to some degree. And we need to remember that the police are, it's like in the case of Alexa, the police have all of what is known right now, and they're just trying to fill in the places. And so Seal's having fun, aren't you, my dear, with your messages? And also, okay, what I want to do, and this is actually another reason why I put the poll up, because up to now, you guys know, every week I would cover another case, and I never really followed up with the cases. I would do it on my own, but I wouldn't talk about it much, because I was always focusing on there's so many people who need their story told, their case told. But I've noticed recently, it's just there's a part of me that is really following cases also, and shared. Should I share that information? I only have so many hours a week I can go live. But there, Lone Wolf is also saying, yeah, he's high functioning. I think I had seen the high functioning bit, like you. That's why it hits home with you. Yeah. First telephone interview with bio dad yeah. There have been, and that's the problem. We want answers, and we're looking for wherever the answers are. And guys, whenever someone loses a child, whether it is through death, missing, whatever, most often husband and wives, if they're not divorced, will end up divorced. It's just part of the statistics around it, because people start at the beginning, you're at one level, but as time goes on, you're trying to fill in blanks and try to do this, and then the blaming starts and stuff like that. And it's hard, because those people watching, I've watched it happen on a couple cases, and it breaks your heart, because you know how badly these people are hurting. And you wish to God they wouldn't have to continue hurting at the level that they are at, and be able to get some peace. And to be honest, they can't even have the peace of knowing what happened to their child, which makes it so, yeah, it breaks you up. Exactly, Thea. It breaks you up so much internally. It bleeds out, breaks up everything around you. Yep. Not knowing, dead or alive, are they being hurt? Okay, laying in bed at night wondering, is my baby being hurt? Is my baby cold? Whatever it is, your questions are non-stop. Give up is saying, sorry, why can't I stop? Okay, now all of a sudden my highlighting of questions is not allowing me to do it, so I'll just read it. Give up is saying, oh, now it is. Okay. Yes, Lioness, I guess they find inner strength they didn't know they had. I remember my daughter was hiding in a little cubby upstairs. It was not even 10 minutes, but you couldn't breathe or think, and that's it. And I think that's what makes it interesting for us, because a lot of times, and you'll hear people watching say, well, that person's not reacting normally. That's not the way I would react. Well, we all react differently to different things. And the way we react changes also as time goes on. Whether we're innocent, guilty, or anything. Okay, that's just how stress and trauma works. And so but this one, yeah, this case, Sebastian's, is really hitting home with a lot of people, I think. Thea, I lost her eyes on her kids at a party for a few minutes, and the panic that set in was unimaginable. Yep. Your son was 5 when he disappeared for over an, oh my gosh. Police found him 2 miles up the railroad tracks walking with some old lady. Wow. Wow. And Lone Wolf, landfill search was in Kentucky, not Tennessee. I've said from the beginning, I just haven't had a good feeling about this one from the beginning. But I'm not pointing fingers either, because I know kids can get smart and learn how to use computers, and They may not be able to get something at home, but once they get to school, I have friends of mine whose children are on the spectrum. And at home, things are locked down, but once they got to school, they were able to figure out how to get around the lockdowns. So, but yeah, Lioness, I would have been a mess. And hey, AJ, how you doing, my dear? And yeah, I bet you're, yep, hyperventilating, all that. The trash from where he lived is taken. Okay, is that what it was? Okay, I couldn't remember off the top of my head exactly why it was. So that's the reason why it was that. Because I know there was some question whether or not dogs had smelled any scent on the trash. Okay, okay, where the trash was taken and stuff like that. Seal, your fingers on the new time zone. That's what it is. Your fingers on the new time zone. So, and okay, what I said a few minutes ago, Jim Tuck, and you got it. I really appreciated Lone Wolf earlier sent me some really great stuff about kids recently who've been found. And I am so tired of all the bad news. And every one of you who are still in this room with me are dealing with the feeling like, is anything going to go right? Can we just get a couple that go right? And they have. We've had a couple that have been found and all that. So definitely. But let me pull this up and we're going to play two of them real quick that really, really hit my heart this morning. Autism children have the highest abuse targeted sitting around 50. Yep. And I could see that because it's a trust thing too. And that's why I was so worried with cases like this, because if they did get on the internet, it's very easy to become very comfortable. So anyhow, this first one actually came from it was 6 days ago. 3-year-old boy went missing. Okay, let me show you the information down. They didn't go more into it. 3-year-old had gone missing. He had last been seen 30 minutes before his disappearance. And they found him running towards a body of water while wearing just his diaper. So he got out of the house. He literally pried open a window. And we talk about this all the time. 3-year-olds escaping their house and stuff like that. Well, here was an example of that actually happening. He got out of a window, pried it open, got out of it, and ran. And so this is the moment where they found him and tried to catch up to him quickly.
Hey, buddy! Hey! Oh!
A canine officer and deputies are being called heroes after finding a missing toddler in a field with only his diaper on. The body camera video shows the moment deputies spotted the boy and ran to rescue him yesterday afternoon.
Now, the boy had left through a window and he was found a quarter of a mile away from his home.
13 on your side's Jeremiah Brown joins us, and the sheriff says this could have had a much different ending.
Yeah, totally.
That is right. The Van Buren County Sheriff's Office says the boy was found just 50 yards from a large body of water, but the sheriff also says this is the 5th lost child found by K-9 Officer Kuno and Deputy Calhoun, something he says he has never seen before.
Hey, buddy!
Literally, he walked between two bodies of water. If he'd have went to the left or the right, I'm going to tell you 5 minutes earlier, we'd probably have a different outcome.
Around 4 Monday afternoon, the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office, South Haven Police, and Michigan State Police responded to a missing 3-year-old boy in Geneva Township.
On a call like this, the best thing you can do immediately is put dogs on the ground and drones in the air.
Van Buren County and MSP K-9 units and 2 drone teams divided the search area. K-9 officers tracking the boy's scent and drone teams trying to locate the boy from above.
Once our K-9 got to the wooded area over there, he did see a little footprint in the mud, and the K-9 track started.
Shortly after, a drone caught visual of the boy, with the K-9 handler radioing in to say they found him, the boy only with minor scratches.
It's okay. It's okay.
And the 5th lost child found by K-9 Officer Kuno and Deputy Calhoun.
I'll be here 32 years
God
next week.
bless that dog.
I've never heard of a K-9 recovering multiple kids throughout its career. Just 5 kids in its short career as a K-9.
The boy's parents overjoyed. Sheriff Abbott says never hesitate to call police if you cannot find your child.
Check the house, check it again. If they're not there, then start your perimeter searches. Once you feel that that child isn't within the perimeter where you feel comfortable where the child could be, call us immediately.
Sheriff Abbott also says if your child is missing, call 911 even before you start searching so they can be on their way, emphasizing how important time is. In the newsroom, Jeremiah Brown, 13 on.
That is a huge truth right there. Don't waste the time looking, then call. Okay? Call. Just call and say, hey, I'm looking. We have cell phones. It's not like it was 10 years ago where we would literally have to, stand in our kitchen on our phone as we made this phone call. Okay, we have a cell. We can walk around and do a perimeter search while we're calling, 911 and saying, my child is missing. Because those dogs make all the difference in the world. We're right now there's an amazing woman out here in Hawaii who is trying to set up a system for people who have dementia, family, mom, dad with dementia, a phone number that they can call the moment mom or dad goes for a walk without telling anyone and they can't find mom or dad. Because the sooner you get out there with the dog, the quicker you're going to bring them home and the less chance you're going to end up having multiple scents going on. And so it's just, and this next one, he had one other one that, let me see here. Here it is. Give Up said, it's so important. When my daughter was in the cubby, I was back and forth between calling. See, thankfully it turned out again. Okay, but I'll never wait again. Yeah. I think so many people are scared, and it's the same with any 911 call. I tell people all the time that are elderly and they're not feeling really right or something. They're like, no, I don't want to call 911 because it could be nothing. And I tell them, you're not going to get charged for that 911 call. Unless you're abusing 911 or you choose to get in the ambulance. It's the same with these things. They're not going to go yell at you and charge you and stuff like that for being careful. And it's too important. So let me see. I think there was one more. I just want to find this one other video because it was just wonderful also. Let me see if I think it was here. It was a short, if I remember right. Yeah, here it was. This is a short, so even shorter. But our last one I want to end with, guys, tonight. We need the good news. Here's our good news. Over and over, we need this good news. This, guys, was a girl with autism. So we just talked about Sebastian. This was a girl with autism, and they got dogs out. They got helicopters out. They did what they're doing with Alexa right now. And from helicopter, they found her. They could see the heat signature. And they sent people down to find her. So here we go.
In the woods.
Oh, there she is. Genesis, come here, sweetie. Hey!
Look at that water. This was Florida. Think about snakes. Think about alligators. Think about all the things that could have happened there.
We're gonna have you sit right here, okay? Sit right here with your legs hanging out. That look good. How long? You were walking quite a bit, sweetheart.
What was that?
We were looking for you, sweetheart.
That.
Hey, I think I got her in the woods.
This one here was just recently too. So we're getting these stories.
Hey, I think I got her
recently. And when it comes to our babies, you don't take a chance. Exactly, Thea. Exactly. You don't take a chance. Before I finished this live, I wanted to check what the temperature was like for Alexa right now. It's down to 42 degrees. It's cold. Help us share out her picture, gang. Help us. We've got that there. It's on Discord. It's on my community tab. Every one of you who has YouTube Premium has a community tab. Okay, it's one of the benefits you get for paying that monthly fee for no advertisements. Use that community tab. Help us share out these stories. And Facebook, I've got it shared out on Facebook because, gang, if she did not run away and is not local at this point, she could be anywhere. Yes, give up. Yes. Okay, I was talking to someone from this group about it the other day. If you have YouTube Premium, you get a community tab. You don't have to create a channel or anything like that. Well, you have to have your username, of course, but you don't have to have a live or video type channel. You've got a community tab. And then when you come to one of our things, you can just hit share and you can do those things that way. So it's worth it. It really is great to have. Plus you get rid of all the commercials, which is kind of nice. And so just in case Alexa is not at home, we've got to in her home city. She could be out, okay, in another town, in the city. God knows what happened to her. So help us out with sharing that out. This Wednesday, hopefully, I don't know, I'll talk with Sleuth. I think we'll be back live this week. We will find out. If not, we will figure something out. Other than that, I am going to go do some work because I've got some big meetings tomorrow for work, and I've got a couple projects to finish. So love all you guys, tons and tons and tons. And I will see you soon. Aloha, gang. Mahalo. Love y'all. Bye-bye.